Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So, we're gonna update the LR tier list. I figured this would be a nice, easy, and quick one. I mean, I don't really imagine there's a lot of real discourse or, like, I don't know. I don't feel like there's gonna be a lot of disagreements with this. It's, the GDC brought with it explosive, ridiculous power creep, which really wiped out, I think, most of the first 6 months of the year. Those characters are just not very effective, mostly. Festival of Battles is certainly in discussion for one of the hardest fights in the game, and many of the 10th anniversary characters are still very effective in Festival Battles. But outside of there, I mean, it's, Tech Vegito can do some stuff, as long as he doesn't get locked in slot 1. There's AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku, who's probably the best 10th anniversary character across the entire year, across all content, right? So I think no one's tier list is ever going to be exactly the same, but I do think most people's tier lists, when it comes to, a top 10 LR here, I think most people's would actually be rather similar. I don't really think that there would be too many differences, really, right? So let's just go ahead and start with number 10. I actually put AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku right here. Now let me just quickly explain a little bit why, because there is a change here. I guess I could pull up. Well, maybe we'll wait. We'll talk about it at the end. AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku, again, is very effective in all content. This would include, the Gohan, Goten, and Trunks fight, which very well may be the hardest fight in the game. The Goku Black and Zamasu, again, Festival of Battles. Remember, there's some of these, new, types of fights with the bombs. The Tamagami 3 fight, the Great Ape Team Bardock fight. And, this guy just, the way he's designed, he works very effectively in, all of these fights, right? He's dodging at the start. He has a great transformation condition, especially with how much chip damage you could take in some of these fights. Once you transform with him, he, of course, is a major stacking character. So that's just pretty good, right? And he's strong support as well once he transforms. I feel like he's... maybe, honestly, if we go the totality of the year, AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku is probably the best character of the year, right? If I tried to do a video of, best character of every year, and it's not necessarily meant to be, who had the highest peak during the year, but instead, who was, the strongest throughout the year, this guy looks like he would win in 2025. All right, next, we'll go on to the LR Gods, who, likewise, are very effective across all content. I guess them, and then we can go and grab Physical Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as well. These are 3 10th anniversary characters, who are good across all content, right? I think the Gods are very effective. Like the Physical Super Saiyan 4s, they don't really hit very hard until you transform. The Gods transform, and they're effective, but... again, especially as I'm getting back to these long showcases, I probably shouldn't have stopped, right? Most of this year, I didn't even do them. When I'm doing these fights, let me just, pull this open. Let me just... Guys, we're bringing it back. Mute this. Okay, so about how long did it take us? It's about 20 minutes, half hour to take down Gohan, Goten, and Trunks here. To be fair, with these pure Saiyan characters, including the Blues and Physical Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, are very effective in this fight, though. This may just be the hardest fight, I think. This Gohan is so crazy, and then Trunks and Goten are so crazy. And this is a fight... There's 2 fights right now where, damage is very important. That's Festival Battles, and then this right here. Because, basically, these 2 combine to hit so hard, the Trunks and Goten and Gohan, that, if you don't kill them quick enough, you can't handle it. Outside of, a team of Super Saiyan 4 characters, and you could just hit all of their counters, you just can't... that's funny, GT Hero is actually a great matchup for this fight. And, so, that does make me look a little bit more favorably on, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. But, we did the Goma long video, and the Gohan, Goten, and Trunks fight easily. I mean, was most of the video, right? It's only here where, you know, we finish off Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. Then we go into some of the other fights, the Team Bardock, Goku Black, and Zamasu, and this Red Zone Broly, and we crush them. Now, to be fair, Goma's team, I guess, is truthfully a pretty bad matchup for this fight, right? Because a lot of the characters aren't able to get their best abilities, but yeah, I do lead a lot of, like, credence to that Gohan, Goten, and Trunks fight. And this character just can't, like, they're not going to deal with Gohan. They could their first turn, right? Like, with that damage reduction up, I'm, you know, certain with the very, very high damage reduction, they go in slot 1 against Gohan on that first turn. Because remember, he does dodge cancel. But there's just a huge gap between transformed physical Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and the LR gods, right? By the way, I refreshed because it goes on, like, super high speed. It's really weird. But the Scouter plus counter combo, I mean, we don't need to really talk about it too much. This doesn't need to be a long video. Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, and I will grab Golden, Frieza, and Gogeta. I do like these two characters. These characters are interesting. I actually did something in the that long video that I had never considered I could even do with Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, by the way. I didn't realize this character, like, this character, I think is better than I thought they were. I mean, okay, so number one, Trunks and Goten are, like, if the youth category team was, like, as good as, like, Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku's team, like, this character would have arguments for number one. Now, they couldn't handle that Gohan in slot 1, which I do kind of, like, really care about, right? Being able to handle that Gohan in slot 1, because he's so devastating. But I did a thing in it where, you know, again, like, you can run a lot of these characters on Goma's team, but, like, all their conditions, right? Like, this, Baby's condition, like, you're not able to hit, like, their fast sort of, like, transformations for a lot of these characters. So it wasn't, you know, we did 3 rotations it took in order to finally be able to get Gohan's active. We did Gohan's active, and then on the next turn, even though, like, we you know, used up the active for Gohan, on that final turn, I was then able to switch to Goten and Trunks, and their first turn, they have this, right? On top of, like, this right here, and then maybe any dodge build you might have. So, at minimum, they have 88% dodge their first turn. At absolute bare minimum. 87%. 87%. They have an 87% chance to dodge at minimum on their first turn, no matter what. Like, even if you're not using the active for them or anything. So, like, I just had never really... It's because most of these fights nowadays don't last that long. So, like, I didn't even, like, consider that you could do tech like that, right? Of, like, using Gohan's active, which, you know, makes him really tanky, and then followed up with Goten and Trunks with their huge dodge. This character, I feel like, tends to be a bit overhated. Golden Frieza's not the craziest, that's for sure. But when you pop that active up, and he could do the active from second 1, that does change things for this character, because it's like if Beast Gohan just loaded in with his active. It's huge. It's huge having that ability that he does have. Now, again, Golden Frieza, before you build this up, he could take some damage. But that active is really good. And then, obviously, Gogeta is, like, really special, right? With, you know, getting a bunch of orbs on the field, being able to do a lot of damage. He can't really handle that Gohan, but Golden Frieza can. On a good turn, we could Golden Frieza active, you know, maybe even on turn 4 or turn 5, and Golden Frieza will be able to tank that Gohan, right? So I do like this character right here. I've gotten a lot of use out of this character since they came out, the Golden Frieza and Gogeta, so I really like them right here, right? And then we can go ahead and get into the GDC characters, and just, like, quite honestly, like, there's not really... I haven't really seen too much to kind of, like, change my minds, really, on the GDC characters. I think a lot of my arguments, a lot of everything for them would still remain the same, right? Rose, I do really like Rose. Rose is good across all content. This character, for some reason, tends to get, like, kind of, like, uber hated on. But Rose is very good. Very effective in festivals, very effective in a lot of these tough fights. Remember, you get to turn 4... and depending upon the situation, it's pretty easy to just wipe the boss out with the Fusion Zamasu active skill. You have that in your back pocket. Omega is just one of the strongest units in the game. His support is crazy. You know, he defensively, he probably is the worst of the 4 main GDC LRs. but he does make up for that with covering his team in defense and damage reduction and support and stuff. I like Omega right here. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. This is probably the #1 counter to, again, what I consider kind of like the hardest fight in the game, that Gohan. I think that Gohan, this guy right here, is just, like, different, this boss. And, I mean, this guy might be the #1 slaughterer of that Gohan, right? Like, you get that Dragon Fist out. In one of these videos, actually, was it this one? It might have been this. Is this right here? Where he tanks it, like, very deep in this fight. Yeah, okay, I thought I had lost right here. So this is Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. It is next to Super Saiyan 4 Goku, right? Who, of course, has tremendous defense. And we had Super Saiyan 4 Goku Super the turn before. So he's getting 2-turn support from that Super Saiyan 4 Goku. But this is turn 6 Gohan. This is like a 10 million damage crit super or some shit. And Gogeta lived. I was blown away. Now, again, the AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku had a huge factor in that. But the fact that this Gogeta could do that, that's special, right? So I easily have this guy up here. I mean, I no longer think that you can, you could reasonably argue like Omega for one, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta for one, the Blues for one. I don't think so anymore, but I mean, we'll get there in 2 seconds. And then the Blues, I mean, they just are good in all content. They have dodge for all these tough GDC fights. If dodge is canceled, you actually can get around that, which is insane. It's just turn 4 to get this. Even if it was dodge canceling from turn 1, this character's not a fish. They wouldn't be as effective in Saw 1, but I mean, remember, they have a lot of damage reduction, a lot of dodge, and they get like quite a bit of defense. Goku does have this right here, right? He does have this right here. Honestly, I haven't talked enough about this in all my time using this character, how effective this shit is, which is really good. This character's just good everywhere, right? I found a lot of value with Vegeta with the father-son Gallic Gun active skill. And this is one of my favorite characters in festival battles as well. Vegeta is so explosive towards the end in the Daima phase, against Vegito and stuff. Absolutely love this character, right? They're just so good across the whole game. But King Goma has arrived. And I think King Goma is #1. Now, I think King Goma he's easily #1, right? Like, there's no doubt about that. I wasn't quite willing to throw him on a tier of himself. Should I? I don't know. I mean, I've only seen him die once. I was using a 55% Link level 1 Goma in festival battles. He was cooking up. Now, Goma can be killed towards the end of festival pretty easily, right? Like, let me actually just quickly pull up a quick shot of this. But, when I did a 55% festival run. It was with, so I did several videos on him. We took him in there without a leader skill, and he was able to handle Vegito. Super attack would have killed him, but we dodged it. Here, just, pure decimation. In this one, like, Goma, like, in some of these, like, Goma is, had enough, actually, I guess in this one, actually. Here, let me pull this up. So, my Goma, right, is capable of tanking Vegito at the end here. He had higher stats. Right here, as we look at this Goma would be killed by Vegito. This 6.5 million defense right there. Because remember, this Vegito boss is worst possible. So I, used the giant right here because I had to, because Vegito would kill. I mean, I guess technically Goma could have dodged the supers, but I, didn't really want to risk it. I mean, this double Goma run, I feel like the start is a little tricky because the manga characters are really bad at the start, especially if we're trying to preserve their intros till later on. But, like, Goma destroys this fight, right? Like, Goma is so crazy. So you've got that. You have his giant form, right? Which is crazy. Now, in the Gohan, Goten, and Trunks fight, the one-turn giant form, some of it was because of mixing, like, Fat Boo shenanigans with Ghost Ushers and revives. You see goofiness when you start doing that, right? Of not being able to cancel all boss abilities. Does seem like Trunks and Goten, typically, they do have an extra, AoE usually, an extra super, if we have a one-turn giant mode. but like this shit is so crazy. Don't forget too, Goma. The start of every turn, he stacks right here, right? So the turn starts, you stack, you go into giant form, you use the whole giant form, then you revert back to base. When you revert back to base, he gets a second stack. So like I go back to here, like when I did this, where I did the giant form with Goma, this is another reason. So I had done this second stack, and now we come back, and now Goma is even stronger, right? He just has a lot of tech, a lot of great stuff like that. His 2-turn defensive support is crazy. I'm pretty sure there was a run I think we had against Tamagami number 2. In one of these runs, I think it might have been the full power mission, where Goma, I thought his 2-turn defensive support might have straight up won us the fight, right? Like, he just has so much. And he's invincible until he gets hit 3 times. I'm gonna go like this. I mean, we probably could put Goma in his own tier. I don't think that's entirely necessary to do. This feels right to me. I think Goma is easily and obviously number 1, but I don't think I would give him his own tier as off of what I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, let me know what you guys think, right? But yeah, here we go. This is the top 10 LRs. Again, I don't really think that there would be much argument about this. I don't think so. Maybe, there's some baiters who are, really down on Rose, I guess. Some people could push Physical Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta up. I mean, Physical Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta has an answer once you transform to every boss in the game. So, I could I could get behind him being very crazy. On any given turn, transform Physical Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I mean, he's invincible in a way not even Goma is, right? Like Physical Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. So he is crazy. But I think I feel pretty good about going with this. Now, if we just look at our last one, LR tier list, this is September 13th. I did open it up to a little bit more than just a top 10 right here, but I felt like just a top 10 was sufficient. The one difference is I did kind of basically push Golden Frieza off and get Super Saiyan 3 Goku in. And it's just because I think, his performance across the entire game, I mean, and including Festival as well, where he could really do stuff, and supporting some of these big demons, and he's on these teams, and I just felt like if I'm going to do a top 10, AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku right there at 10 feels correct to me. So, let me know what you guys think of the top 10 LRs. Yeah, Goma is a great release. They did a great job with Goma. Goma is exactly how they should release these types of characters. Poor Daima Vegeta is sitting here like, this should have been me. But I've said before, this is exactly why I consider Daima Vegeta to be the biggest flop, biggest fumble of the year. Goma is like Dokkan doing everything right. And Daima Mini Vegeta is Dokkan doing everything wrong. So, let me know what you guys think. And I'll catch you guys next time.